How are you?
Yo, what's up, yo?
Real quick, sir. You've been wrestling 10 plus years, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know firsthand, first of all, that this company can be very unforgiving. And we had somebody just sign to the WWE. It's kind of a shocker
Mm-hmm.
because I guess nobody's seen it coming. Then reports come out that she kind of did these other companies dirty. My question to you, sir, before we start our show tonight is: as a wrestler, do you want to go to the WWE because it's the dream? It's where you need to go to feel like you've succeeded in this business, or when you look at places like AEW and possibly TNA, 5 years in, it's been around for a long time, but not
Mm-hmm.
as big, but they could promise you possibly so much more. As a wrestler, how do you decide where you want to go?
Well, I think any wrestler stepping into wrestling who's serious about wrestling wants to go to the E. I mean that's the biggest stage of them all. When it comes to wrestling, you can't deny WWE is the biggest stage. Look at all the pay-per-views. Not only that, just look like if you go to the business side of it, look how much revenue they're bringing in, especially lately. Like there is like every show is at least a million, like over a million. You got let's be honest. Like they're making some good money, so they have the production to present you extremely well if they choose you to be presented like that. That's the hard part about the E.
Quick
Is
question.
getting them to pick you to be in that spotlight.
Quick question.
Okay.
Then. Now that we watch so much wrestling, do you think do you think there's a better fit for a wrestler between companies? Like you will look at a wrestler and be like, I think this wrestler would be a better fit on AEW. Oh, I think wrestler would be a better fit for WWE. Like for
Yes.
example, I look
Yeah.
at Joe Hendry. I'm like, Joe Hendry is a WWE superstar written all over him, right?
Yeah.
Just off of entertainment value. But when we saw Stephanie wrestle live in person, I thought AEW was the better fit for her since it focuses on actual in ring, more in ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Less
So how,
entertainment, more wrestling.
yeah. So how do you feel about that? Like if there's a better
I
fit for
think that's 100%. Like Marcus shared the interview today with Booker T. He said it himself. Not everyone is fit for the WWE, especially when it comes to wrestling styles. Not everyone's an entertainer, and not everyone's a wrestler. Sometimes you get the better of the both worlds where you're entertainer and a wrestler. That's like we were just talking before we came on live. The Kurt Angles, the Stone Colds. They have the better of the both worlds where they're wrestlers and entertainers. So some wrestlers are just wrestlers and they may be better at AEW because that's what they focus on. Or some people are more entertainers, so WWE's the best place for that.
I like the way you put that. If you're an entertainer, then the E is probably where you want to go. Hence the E in entertainment. And if you're a wrestler, then AEW is the spot for you to go. But if you could find both in between both worlds, then you're it.
Yeah,
As Carmelo Hayes might say, you're him.
they're him
But
definitely, or the
we got a
man.
lot to
If you
talk
want to bring him
about.
back.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We've been away for a week. We do apologize. We do have a special guest, but let's go ahead and start our show.
Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego should die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego should die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
What What is going on, everybody? Your favorite faction is back. I am your host, the founder, Markus Hernandez. I am with Chano Hayes, Chano Theory, Chano the God. We are with the Zombie King Junior Flow. We have a special guest tonight with us. You've heard his voice Monday through Friday, early mornings on 102 Jams. But most importantly, you probably heard his voice also on CDK and Horatio, his podcast. If you're not listening to it, you should probably go ahead and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. CDK with us. How you doing, sir?
What's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling?
We're doing good, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for hopping on and talking some wrestling with us.
Man, it's a pleasure, man. I've been a fan since 06, and now I'm 25, so I'm almost at my 20-year mark.
Let's get it. Well, before we hop into discussion, real quick for people who might not know who you are, who listen and follow us, who is CDK and why does he like professional wrestling?
CDK is a guy from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a radio personality, media mogul, tour host. I do concerts, festivals, but the reason why I'm in love with wrestling is that was the sport of my choice. When I was in high school, I did amateur wrestling for all 4 years of my high school running. I was the 126 weight class. I started at 106 weight class, so I was a cruiserweight guy, and from there I ended up actually training to be in professional wrestling at Firestar Pro Wrestling right here in the Greensboro, Winston area for a little bit. And I did commentary because I found out that after taking a couple bumps and dedicating the time to the ring, that the microphone was where I needed to be at. So I became a wrestling fan back in 2006 by the video games first, before I actually got into watching weekly episodic shows on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, growing up, I was more of a SmackDown guy because I could actually step and watch that live. So that's what kind of got me into wrestling.
Okay, hell yeah. I love to hear that right there. That's a great story of like why people love wrestling. Got into it amateur, said, you know what, let's try this professionally. Took a chop, took a bump, said, hey, Michael Cole does this pretty safe. You know what I mean? He's undefeated at WrestleMania. I could try to have that moment. Does the commentary, then gets busy in life. You don't no longer commentary on anywhere?
Not right now, not currently. I would be open to doing it again. It's just that I respect the business so much, and I know how much time is devoted to the craft that I would never want to disrespect anybody's ring promotion or anything like that. So if I did a couple one-off shows, I would do it again. It's just more so finding that media balance with my schedule and with whatever promotion I'm with at the time to do one-off shows to make it align.
Okay. I have a question. What bump was it exactly that made you go, yeah, nah?
We didn't get far, man. So this is the thing. So at Firestar Pro Wrestling, I was doing beginner classes from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and before I went on at nights at 7 p.m. And the station is maybe like 10 minutes away from where we trained at. So going there and do that maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. And sometimes I wouldn't even be at the station. Like I would travel and do like my tours and stuff like that. So it wasn't even necessarily the physical part of what went on. I mean, of course, I took a couple of back bumps, and and I'm not the most athletic guy, right? So, but with my height being one thing, I'm only like 5'6", 5'7". I just had to really think, and I was really training to do at least like 1 or 2 matches, but I had to understand that it took me like 6 months to even get to that point, and I did not have the consistency. Like I didn't have the time in my schedule to be consistent for those 6 months to get to that point. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just maybe one day in life, but right now that's just not gonna happen.
No, I respect it.
Well, our guy right here, the Zombie King, is a professional wrestler. He's been doing it 10+ years, so maybe we can make that happen.
Definitely.
Get some training in for you. Earlier this morning, man, you were doing your job, you were doing your thing, talking wrestling with 2 individuals who seem like they used to watch wrestling back in the day, and now they're kind of like they got in, over it. But you said something that might have made North Carolinians really upset. Yeah, especially North Carolinians and then older heads when it comes to being a wrestling fan.
Oh man,
you said John Cena over Ric Flair on your Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
For everybody who hasn't heard this morning or doesn't live in North Carolina and can hear that, what was your Mount Rushmore?
John Cena. I had Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker.
That's good for
that. It's not bad. You can't say that's bad.
Compared to the other, what was the other Mount Rushmore that was being compared to?
So we had on the other side, we had Ric Flair, we had Stone Cold was the only lock. No, The Rock was the only lock, was what he said. Stone Cold, and then the other spot was up for debate. He said Rey Mysterio, but he's playing, and then he was like Hulk Hogan. And I
Damn.
was like,
Rey Mysterio, bro. What's
So
wrong with good old Ray?
CDK, so you're new on to Four Sides. So what we love to do is we like to play a little game called Let's Fuck with Ann. And how we fuck with Ann is we shit on Rey Mysterio relentlessly until Ant just can't take it no more. And he snaps us.
Right. If you don't know, Rey Mysterio is my GOAT. That's my greatest of all time. Yes. That's the reason why. He's the reason why I got into the business.
The only thing I respect about Rey Mysterio is him being in the Royal Rumble for an hour and 2 minutes, man. Like, no, let me not say the only thing. That was kind of crazy.
The only thing. That's it.
No, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
everyone got an opinion.
Said, you know what? That Royal Rumble, that's the only one that does it for me.
That's the only one. That was the only hot match.
What is your reasoning for Cena over Ric Flair?
Cena carried the WWE through a pivotal time of their programming. Like when it came to the PG era, not many wrestlers could go from the edgier content and still be entertaining while being given the variables they were. And John Cena did that, like going from the Doctor of Thugonomics to where we could see he could do the edgy stuff. He could still hang with the end of the ruthless aggression going into what this new era was. And the fact that he ushered that in while also doing the commercials, being able to be a face to the kids, and while adults still hated him. So like he was a face, but still was booed like almost every night from, you know what I'm saying, like the older generation of wrestlers.
Yeah.
So being able to captivate both sides and take the business to another level and carry it on his back for as long as he did going into this new age of wrestling when Rock went to Hollywood and, you know, Brock Lesnar was supposed to be the guy, but he ended up leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all those things that happened and he stayed down with the business for over 20 plus years, consistently and strong. And then for him to respect enough to put other guys over. And when he comes back, he doesn't win every match. Like I want to say he lost like every match last year, or like the last 5 years. And then going into the
Something
point
like
where
that.
he's putting like Austin Theory over, even guys that you like, we don't know for a fact if he's going to be that guy. Solo Sikoa is the only person that's beaten him. He's the only person that he's beaten in the last like I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? Like on individual wrestling. So it's like that's the number one reason why I say Cena is the GOAT, because he puts over young talent. He captivated most generations and brought WWE through a different era that a lot of people could not do.
I will say I like your point, but I will counter a little bit. Cena's putting over guys now. Cena was known as the Golden Shovel for a little while now, man. Like
I mean,
I love me some John, but Cena kind of single-handedly buried Wade Barrett. You know what I mean? And then with the NXT run, when that
was more personal. That was more on the personal business, though.
Still, man, that's crazy because I feel like Wade Barrett looks at it like I can still hang with these guys, but we'll never respect him enough to be like, oh yeah, Wade Barrett he's a superstar.
But I say this to this though, anybody on the Raw Wrestling who didn't bury guys, Hulk Hogan was notorious for burying guys.
Yeah.
I mean that's just Hogan. You know what I mean? I guess when you get to that level of superstardom, you can bury a couple guys.
I would say maybe Stone Cold. No, Stone Cold never really buried, but no matter what, if you're in the feud with Stone Cold, you're in the hottest feud there is at the time for the WWE. So win or lose with Stone Cold, you're getting over. So I maybe Stone Cold, I want to say is maybe the only guy that didn't really bury people.
I will say this: Cena is a GOAT. I don't know if he's the overall GOAT, but he's definitely top 10 WWE wrestlers of all time. Prestige, honor, accolades. He's all of it. And if he gets number 17 in his farewell tour, then that's incredible, man. I hope he gets.
I think I put him in top 5, maybe.
I don't think I can put him in the top 5.
Over who though? Like who is he not going in the top 5 over? And let's okay. This is for WWE. Like that, I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there. Like this is just for the things and stuff. Like I'm not. No.
So you're talking about just a WWE career alone?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you go off a WWE career alone, you might have to put Cena top 3 in that regard. But if you include like the WCW history along with it, then you got to start including the Stings, the Eddie Guerrero. I'm biased as hell, but you got to throw in the Eddies. You might have to throw in a little Goldberg. Not Goldberg over Cena, but you might have to throw Goldberg in that
Nobody's
list.
throwing Goldberg in anywhere, bro.
No.
I'm not gonna hold you. I watched that Legends doc with Goldberg. Goldberg was him.
Even with even with WCW, Goldberg is not top 10 to me. I don't.
Yeah.
mm.
Goldberg
He's
just
straight
had
entertainer.
Goldberg just had a really good creative team that made him look really good. Other than that, that dude could not work in the ring.
I mean, they said it. He was limited, so he got to a spot really quickly in the matches.
I mean,
I call it.
But
I now call it the Trick Williams effect. You get to your
That's-
spots really quickly. You look like a superstar.
But that's the thing that some people forget about professional wrestling. You don't always need to be a wrestler to be one of the top guys. Yes, it sucks when you're not a wrestler and you're a top guy because we're expecting to have some banger matches. I mean, name a banger match Goldberg had.
All of them.
fact.
But was there
lines here.
not entertaining?
They were entertaining. I will give you that. I
Yeah.
think Goldberg's legacy is secured just for the entertainment value alone, and the fact that Goldberg did what he did, especially coming after football and like training for a couple months and getting thrown right into it, man. It's insane. So yes, just to go back to our original point. I guess if you're looking at just WWE career alone, I guess you guys kind of have to put Cena in that top 3 behind Rock and Stone Cold. You kind of give Hogan number 4 because of his WCW run. And even though he had a renaissance with his career in WCW, it's not WWE. So you may have a point. But I think overall wrestler, I don't know, man. There's a couple non-WWE guys in that list.
I think that when it comes to WWE, you have to put Undertaker first because he's the most loyal guy for that company for years.
Yes.
So he has to take the first spot. Then I will probably give it to The Rock because he was another straight WWE guy. He never went anywhere.
Hollywood, and I just
He went
I mean, Hollywood. That's towards the end, though.
is it?
He became The Rock before he became The Rock. You know, he had to start somewhere. So he started his stuff in the E. So that's why I give him. And then 3 has to be Stone Cold, and then Cena.
I put over straight WWE career alone, like forget Hollywood. If Hollywood never happened, I put Cena over Rock. That's
You kind of have to. If you think about it, Cena had the way longer career.
but the impact of the
No.
Rock, man, yo, oh
That's
my
what I'm
God.
saying. Like he's
It's-
still there.
It's
I don't
hard,
know,
man.
because if you really ask me, like I might put Triple H over The Rock.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's another
That's-
thing. See, that's
That's a
I'll
tough
probably put Triple
conversation,
H
you
at
know what I
number
mean?
5. Triple H would be 5.
Where do you put Shawn Michaels?
That's a great point. It's a hard list because
It's a hard list. It is a hard
It's a
list.
hard
to-
list.
it's a subjective list. It's
And
really
I think
It is.
I think that's why the Mount Rushmore conversation is a better conversation to like try to list your goats because there's too many of them. So when you list your Mount Rushmore, it's really just like your personal favorites. These are the guys I feel like that made me stick to wrestling. These are the guys that said, that told me, wrestling is really cool. Like this is what I want to do as a kid. I want to maybe grow up, talk about it, do it as a career, analyze it. So with that being said, Zombie King, who's on your Mount Rushmore?
I mean, what is it? 4 or 5?
4.
4. Top of my head, and of course everyone knows good old Rey Mysterio. Oh man, but it had to be The Rock. Nah, you know what? Everyone's so typical. If I had to pick The Rock or Stone Cold, I'd put Stone Cold.
Good choice.
Undertaker. Damn, it's so hard because it's like Ric Flair, John Cena, HBK, I can go back, Mr. Perfect, Sting, but me personally, growing up, I had to give that last spot to Sting.
I was gonna say, how you not give it to your boy Stingers?
What about
Why?
what about you,
Why,
Chance?
I just want to know why.
Oh, Sting for me I was more the WCW than during the wars. I was more WCW, and I was a big Crow fan. My middle name's Lee. My dad named everyone after Bruce Lee, so we grew up Bruce Lee. So it was like, boom. So once he did that Crow gimmick, it was like, oh man, it's like coming to life. And I was a Sting fan way before he did the crow gimmick. I mean, the matches he's had were great. Muda. It was before my time, but I look back on those matches and like study them. This is great stuff.
I'm glad you said that though too. Like before your time, like I have to say this too. I'm 25, so it's like yeah, I go back in the archives and I have the DVDs and I have even the VHS of like the Bret Hart and Stone Cold. Like I'll go back and watch the King of the Ring and all this other stuff. But like watching it in real time and seeing how it affects, I saw people getting suspended for doing the DX chop. Like I lived through that. So of course, you know what I'm saying? I saw the NWO impact, but like I literally lived through DX. So our answers are going to be different depending on what you actually saw in real time.
Yeah.
What about you, Chano? Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Eddie's my absolute GOAT because goddamn Eddie Guerrero. Love Eddie. It's hard, man. Then I guess I got to go with Undertaker, Stone Cold. I was always more of a Stone Cold guy than a Rock guy, for whatever odd reason. The number 4 is hard, man. After listing all these people, number 4 is hard.
It's super hard.
Sorry, number 4 is hard.
You got AJ Styles out there.
I like AJ, but AJ's not on my Mount Rushmore. I guess my number 4 spot, I guess I would have to give it to Shawn Michaels, man.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's a really hard list to name your 4 most favorite wrestlers.
Oh, hell yeah. It can change. Like, right now when you say Eddie Guerrero, I'm like, why the fuck why I didn't pick Eddie? I do his frog splash. That's one of my finishers. Like, come on.
You know what's real funny? If you used to ask me who was my favorite between like 06 and 09, Batista would have been on my Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yo, what I like.
No.
There's one of our members named Nit Ram who thinks Batista is one of the most overrated wrestlers to ever step foot in the ring.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Actually, CDK, I'll tell you this. He's my brother, but to him, the top 3 overrated wrestlers of all time is Batista, Goldberg, and Trick Williams.
Facts.
And I don't know why.
Trick Williams?
I don't know why.
I could agree.
Ryback?
He hates Ryback too. I could agree with Ryback, Goldberg, and Batista, but I told him to give Trick time, and he just will not do it.
Listen, Batista's not overrated. Batista is properly rated in his career.
I believe so.
For sure,
so.
Like properly rated. I think he wore the right amount of gold for the right amount of time. I don't feel like he was shoved down our throats at all. Like, Batista. I don't even like when I think of overrated. I never think about Batista. Like that was.
Listen,
I think Big Show.
That's such a great theme song.
Wow.
I don't know about that. That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
I'll take Big Show.
Big Show's overrated.
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
a hot take.
What? No, I don't think so.
That's a little hot take.
I mean, it's hard to say he's overrated because it's not many guys like him. He was a very specific role.
You are right. Like there are the great Khali's who could barely move, the Andre the Giants that could barely move. I mean, the only other guy that I feel like is under. What was the question?
I was gonna say if you want to watch some good Big Show, young WCW. I mean, he was good. Boy, he was doing drop kick off the top rope. He was good when he can move. He was good.
Yeah, you're right there. Like Paul White was great.
Paul White.
Now he's like
Big Show. The Big Show was good too. He did his job in the WWE. He put the right people over. He never complained, and he got his moments when he needed it. The ECW championship was a gift because RVD messed up, but I would say he has a legendary Hall of Fame career.
Oh, CDK, you're a North Carolina, you're a Carolinian. How do you feel about the Hardys?
All right, so I hate that. I just really, really, really hate what Jeff has done to himself. Like, and it just really bothers me that, like, I feel like the aura of what his career was and how long he's continued to wrestle past his prime is what's kind of diminishing his legacy. And that's my thing with a lot of guys. Like, but I was talking about Ric Flair. Ric Flair was great, but how long did he do it washed? And it's like, bro, you went way past your prime. You did your retirement match and then wrestled 15 years after your retirement match. Like, what are we even talking about? Like,
that's true.
Like, I still got it. Still got it,
boy.
And it's like Jeff Hardy, like going back to TNA, and then, like, I think he did his WrestleMania return with the Hardy Boys at the when they did a tag team match. I feel like that should have been like his last run, and then like sit down.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at with it. I love Jeff Hardy for what he did with the high flying stuff, but once he kept going back and forth, and we saw him in a state that we just did not like, we didn't want to see him in. And then the Sting match at Victory Road, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Oh man, yeah, that was just disappointing.
That was
Jeff just disappointed me. He disappoints me as a wrestler because there's so many times that he could have been so successful, and instead of taking what should have been his, he would just do something wild. You know, the spear in the ladder match, doing the swanton bomb in the tag team cage match. All he had to do was jump to the bottom. They would have been tag team champions. They would have beat Edge and Christian. What does he do? He does a swanton bomb and misses. You know, it's just like, you know, you had it.
He's a risk taker, man.
He is. He is. Go ahead.
I want to know before we move on, Founder. What's your Mount Rushmore?
My man. Sting, Taker.
Sting off the door. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Sting.
Was not expecting that, to be honest. 100%.
Sting off rip. Taker. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And my personal favorite, John Cena.
Okay. We pretty much similar on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sting, because Sting is, man, when I was introduced to Sting, I thought he was just this dope character. You didn't see guys like him. You know, like WWE didn't have somebody who was so silent but deadly. Taker was kind of that guy, but we didn't see him so much. You know what I mean? Like, we saw Sting week in, week out, and I feel like everything he did, he touched it. People hate on Main Event Mafia. I thought it was awesome.
I love the Main Event Mafia in TNA. And
That was 50-50 on him. Yeah.
one person I thought that we would like at least mention is Randy Orton, and it's just like, nah, not at all.
Oh my god.
Randy,
I'm surprised I didn't pick him. Wow.
See,
I'm mad at myself.
Randy's one of those guys too. It's just like, you know, if he's not in your top four, he's definitely either five, but he's definitely, you know, if he's not five,
he's on my list.
He's your top 10. You know what I mean? I think Randy goes without. He's one of those honorable mentions that just goes without saying. Dude's fantastic. If he didn't get hurt, he might be a 15, 16 time world champion. Who knows? You know, can't really discuss on that, I guess, because he's just a tag team guy now, and I hate to see it, but I think he'll get back to his solo runs. I think he's just getting in shape.
He's smart about it.
But it's let's move on. Let's talk some.
Wait, did we get CDK, right?
Yeah.
Did we get your round map?
Yeah, we kicked off.
Yeah,
okay.
He started.
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't remember. I wanted to make sure.
Let's talk about things that happened this weekend. Everybody, like I said, man, we apologize. We just got really busy with Forbidden Door, doing MSG, and coming back, helping Brandy move to North Carolina, 4th of July. So, you know, we had to spend some family time. But Friday night, something crazy happened, and I didn't expect it. DIY won the tag team championships.
To be honest, that's not that crazy.
It really is, though.
No, I've been saying it for a long time.
It's not crazy, bro. It's not crazy. Theory and Waller, 8-time Down Under, only has one title defense, and since they won the belt at Mania. You know what I mean? It felt inevitable. It wasn't a matter of, oh my god, who are they going to lose it to? It was like, oh my god, when are they going to drop the belts? And it's because they just weren't wrestling.
What you're saying?
They literally just stopped wrestling, and I don't know if it's because of injury, somebody's injured, but it's not that surprising.
So would you say putting the titles on DX Jr. was the right call?
Putting the title on anybody who wasn't Grayson Waller and Austin Theory was the right call.
I feel like if they didn't also put the titles on Miz and Truth, like I feel like both Mania titles, like the people that won, I don't feel like neither one of them should have been the people to win. Like if they were gonna do Miz and Truth, they should have gave it to. I honestly thought that they should have actually won the championships at Mania. Like I don't think Waller and Theory should have won at Mania at all.
It's not that I had an issue with Theory and Waller winning because they're both talented guys in the ring. They literally just stopped wrestling. They just literally stopped wrestling in tag team matches. Like they started putting them in like weird 6-man tags, singles matches. And it was just weird. Like, because we've seen them be a tag team for like months on end leading up to this point. You give them the tag straps, and they just stopped doing anything. It was the weirdest. But you know what's the weirdest thing about it? Is like I said, it's like the moment they split these tag titles, they're gonna be irrelevant. They're not defended on pay-per-views. They're not defended on pre-shows. They're defended on days before the pre-Money in the Bank. Our true fan Miz lost like in a random Raw. You know what I mean? It felt really like at least our truth and Miz. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. They defended their titles.
Yeah, they had a
week
couple.
in, week out, they were wrestling, defending their titles. Not our truth. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I love Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory has all the talent in the world.
That's facts.
I think he's super talented. His U.S. title run was kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of whack.
He finally.
But he had. Listen, he's the GOAT. Okay, but it was kind of whack. His tag team run had some legs to it, and they just failed him. They failed the ish out of him.
I will say this. I think that Austin Theory single-handedly brought down the aura of Money in the Bank, like low key. With this cash in on a mid-card title, like, come on, bro.
To be honest, they couldn't do nothing about it. Every time he tried to cash in on Roman, there was a gang of Samoans ready to jump him.
I don't think they should have gave it to him because like they're like us as fans were like, bro, he's not beating Roman. Like, and I think that even when they did with Drew this past, which we'll probably get into in a minute, I think that was low key the right call, and I had to really think about it. I was like, yeah, like, are they gonna drop the titles anytime soon? Like,
to be honest, they can't do that same thing 2 years in a row. So if you look at it, or 2 out of 3 years, like, because if you really look at it, it doesn't matter who you give it to. Roman has both world titles. Roman has his cousins in his back pocket who are always there at his matches regardless. You know what I mean? So in order for you to be a Money in the Bank winner and cash in successfully on Roman Reigns, it literally needs to be the steel cage match where you can climb in, lock the gate, and then take advantage of Roman Reigns, or make sure you're in a foreign country where the Usos are not allowed.
So my question then, do we like strip the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and bring it back to Mania to where it's like not so forced? Like, I don't know. That's just my whole thing.
Honestly, I like the fact that this is on pay-per-view because the women have their match as well. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been saying this for about a year now. The women have been putting on better matches than the men in these big spot matches. The War Games match, the women's match was a whole lot better than the men's. The Money in the Bank match was a whole lot better than the men's for the past 2 years.
This one was a little choppy. This year was a little choppy.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Money in the Bank.
Bro, when Zoe Starks lost her life, I stood up from my couch. I was like, "Oh my god!"
She missed her spot.
My brother-in-law don't really like. He used to watch wrestling back in the 90s. Like, he likes talking to me about Sunday Night Heat. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day. He talks to me about that. You know what I mean? And even he was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" Like, he prefers the Divas era, but this was eye popping for him. You know what I mean? It was a great match. Did it have its moments? Yes, but everything about that match, every big spot, it felt natural, felt great. When after Eel hit in, Eel just felt back. I was like, Lord, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a banger. It was a phenomenal match, and it was better than men.
Let's talk about the Money in the Bank. They kicked off with the men's Money in the Bank first. How'd you guys feel about that? Drew McIntyre did go over. He got, I think it was like obvious he was going to win. Everybody wanted Jey Uso to do it or some other, but the story was for Drew McIntyre to win. Like you said, CDK, maybe it was the right call that they did this, because if you fast forward, he cashes in on such a crazy botch that I don't think till this day Triple H could say enough apologies to say that it didn't happen, because we all know it happened. We all saw it. We all watched it live. Damian Priest, all you had to do was kick out, bro. You just saved the entire match. That's literally all you had to do was just kick out. But he'll blame the finger.
People won't remember that.
That was crazy.
People won't remember that. 2 years from now, people are not gonna be like, "You remember when Seth Rollins won, but the referee stopped?"
I don't know about that one. That was a bad botch, bro.
That was a bad botch.
I think he was knocked out. I generally think he was knocked out.
He did look dazed. I ain't gonna lie.
He was wide awake.
He was looking at the ref and everything.
I still think my theory is Drew McIntyre's music was supposed to hit a second earlier to distract the ref. But
I think so.
Was that worse than when misses his cue to bring the ref up the ring when he did his debut? Which one is it? You know what I'm talking about. We were supposed to drag the ref out the ring. He counted the 3, and the ref just kind of threw himself out the ring.
Oh yeah. Yes, that botch.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That botch.
That's
To be honest,
crazy.
that was the ref's fault. This Damian Priest botch was not the ref's fault. That ref just saved Damian Priest's ass and said, "Okay, I will take the pin on this or the fall on it, but you messed up, bro. Like you knew the finish,
Yeah.
you knew what was supposed to happen. Why didn't you just kick out?" Like I understand what people might say. He wanted to protect Seth's move. People kicked out of the Falcon Arrow before, so you could go ahead and kick out of it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. But CDK, you was just saying that you thought it was the right call. Drew winning, Drew cashing in. Do you think it was the right call that CM Punk was there? Or do you think it was the right call him just cashing in, making it a triple threat match?
I think he should have. If they were gonna do the CM Punk spot, this is the thing. Damian Priest could drop the belt. Like he could have been did that, right? I'm trying to figure out another way that it would have made sense for the Punk and Drew McIntyre feud to continue while also keeping Seth Rollins involved without him cashing in the Money in the Bank same night and losing. Like I think we can low-key take Damian Priest out of this equation and the feud is still the same, right? With those three guys. So I'm trying to figure out a way. They could have low-key, like, even if they did the whole title thing again, put the belt on Drew and made it a triple threat between Seth Rollins and Punk at like SummerSlam or something like that. But I don't know what the update is on that.
I'm glad you said that because they can't do that because Gunther had a guaranteed title match at WrestleMania.
I forgot about that.
Because the King of the Ring. That's why Drew winning the belt never made sense. Because the big money match for Drew is at SummerSlam against Pepsi Phil. You know what I mean? If you make the triple threat match, Gunther's not there for that blood. Gunther's not there for the blood feud. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Gunther's there is there to take names, take bodies, and leave with the chip. You know what I mean? So that's why Drew. Because if it was about Drew and the chip, Drew would have won in Scotland. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He would have won the chip in his hometown. People were saying, "Oh, he was screwed." No, you can't put the belt on Drew walking into SummerSlam. It does not make sense for the story. Because if you have Drew walk to the belt in SummerSlam against Gunther, CM Punk is going to screw him, and then we're going to have to wait until the next big pay-per-view for it to happen. Drew versus Phil is not a random PLE. It is the second biggest night of the second biggest pay-per-view PLE of the year. It is SummerSlam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I forgot all about the King of the Ring. And that's a done thing, too. Why is that even the stipulation with King of the Ring? Is it to make it matter again? Like, I feel like Gunther alone could have made King of the Ring, like, a thing. And he didn't necessarily need the title shot. I just feel like with the time and where the company is right now, they just kind of threw like a monkey wrench in there. It just didn't really go with the flow of what's going on right now.
I think that they put the stipulation in it because they kind of wanted to make King of the Ring interesting because the last time that King of the Ring was probably interesting was, to the Hall of Famer King Booker. So,
yeah,
I think they were like, well, why don't we try to do something? Because, what if we're going to bring back King of the Ring, it has to mean something. You know what I mean? And the last couple people, no disrespect to the people that have won, fantastic. It's either helped you or it's either failed you. And the last couple people that won it, even the Queen of the Ring, it's failed them. It did Baron Corbin really no favors. Like King Corbin wasn't that great. Even Queen Zelina Vega. I love Zelina. You know what I mean? But it was dry. It wasn't fun. It wasn't interesting. So I think this time around, they said, you know what, let's make it interesting. So if you win this tournament, you get a number one shot. And I think both participants that won, Gunther and Nia Jax, were the right two people to win this tournament
100%.
because they have a dominant force. And now you're like, ooh, okay, now this is interesting. Gunther's in the main title picture. That is interesting. Nia Jax being in the main title picture. That is interesting. So I think that's why they decided to go with that stipulation.
I will say I wish the King of the Ring tournament wasn't multiple nights. I want to see an actual tournament. Like you wrestle, another bracket, and then it's like you see the tournament break down. Like a wrestler wrestles 3, 4, or 5 times until that's what I want from the tournament. Like I didn't like it. It was kind of spread out. Like I want to see a whole pay-per-view around this tournament, and you see the wrestlers actually wrestle each bracket.
I'm not gonna hold you. You can't
be mad at that.
You can't really do that with Triple H's 5-match cards. You know what I mean? It's very hard to get a tournament.
Well, it'll be a special event. Why not? King of the Ring, make it a 3-hour event. They're about to make SummerSlam two nights.
I mean, the PLEs are 3 hours. It's just Hunter likes 5 matches on his card. I don't know. You know what I mean?
He said it's the
he's
perfect
smart.
number. Let's continue on. We'll just go real quick. You just tell me if it was the right call or not. Tiffany Stratton winning the Women's Money in the Bank chance.
I'm not mad at it, but it should have been Chelsea.
Zombie King, how you feeling about that?
100%. 100% that she won. She was the perfect choice, not what Chance said.
Chelsea,
what
how you
Chance
hate
said.
Chelsea Green?
I would like to see her. I think she would have been very entertaining with the briefcase, but on a serious matter, and who's hot right now,
Serious, man.
Tiffany.
Chelsea Green is serious.
Man.
She's a superstar.
seriously funny.
She's great. Honestly,
She is
she's
great. You saw the interview after, and she was like, "No one there in the press conference."
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
bro. She's amazing.
Going off topic. My bad.
Bro,
The founder's getting mad. We're going off topic.
No, we're good. We're talking about Chelsea Green. I love it.
There we
CDK,
go.
how'd you feel about Tiffany Stratton winning the Money in the Bank?
I think that was a good choice. I think with Trips right now, his stuff is like getting out of like the gimmicky stuff. Like if Chelsea Green, like you said, would have won, she would have been entertaining with the briefcase. But on a serious note, nobody would have expected her to win gold right now. So it's like I think that was a better choice. You know what I'm saying? So
my thing with that is Chelsea's actually belt really good wrestler. You know what I mean? We just
She
don't
is.
see it.
She actually has
see
a
it.
match with Penta
She
underground.
does it. Bro, I know, I seen it, bro. She's great. Like
Yeah.
she's actually one of those people with a great gimmick that could actually go in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's like
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. Like when she was in the first, when she was in WWE, her first run, she tried to do that. She tried to be the wrestler, and people weren't really getting behind her. She got released. Then she went to TNA. She did great things at TNA. Deonna Purrazzo Tag Team Champions. There's a lot of things that she could have done, and then they brought her back, and this time she understood her place and she understood what she had to do to stay relevant. And we talked about it earlier. Entertainment, and she got that. Maybe her husband helped a lot. I would really like her to come out one day and just hit the woo 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 on us. And just,
That would be funny.
and just do it. I do think Tiffany Stratton was a great call. Pushed a young girl. She's in like this little partnership with Nia Jax too, who's also going to be fighting Bayley at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship. So I like that story and how they're going to build on that. My next question is going to be Sami Zayn, Bron Breakker. Sami Zayn goes over, retains his Intercontinental Championship. CDK, was that the right call?
yeah, because my original plan that I wanted was Chad Gable to win originally from Sami Zayn to begin with. But I think Bron Breakker he didn't lose anything from this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this was perfect, and Sami Zayn is still building. And I like that they're keeping these title reigns longer than they're actually making these lengthy reigns, and people aren't just playing hot potato with the belts.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie King, how'd you
More
feel
meaningful.
about the Sami Zayn, Bron Breakker?
I think perfect call. I think Bron Breakker's the dog. Sami Zayn's a dog. At the end of the day, Sami Zayn pulled it through. He's a dog. He's like Sami Zayn is a mixer of Mick Foley and Rocky. That's how I see Sami Zayn. So it was the right call. Good match. Little stutter steps here and there for Breakker. It was a big match for him. Big moment, big PLA. I'm pretty sure maybe the nerves got to him. But everything else, I mean, he's gonna be a solid money maker.
Okay, I like that. Chance, how you feeling about the right call on Sami Zayn?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay as long as Bron wins at SummerSlam, but I would have loved to see one more haluva kick. I'm not a big fan of one haluva kick taking out a beast like Bron Breakker, and I feel like 2 would have solidified him as that guy. I do agree with CDK. Bron didn't lose anything, but I feel like he would have gained something more with taking 2 haluva kicks, kicking out of one and taking another one to really solidify. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Sami Zayn did to Jey Uso at WrestleMania 39 when he hit him on like 3 straight haluva kicks to really nail the head in the coffin. Like, I felt like that's how I feel about that match. Overall, right call.
I think it was the right call for Sami Zayn to go over it. I think it humbles Bron Breakker a little bit, being so young and finally realizing that these vets, like, they could do this. They could run the ropes. They could work. And these last couple of guys I've been beating, these green guys, if you will say, that he's been squashing. No disrespect to Dragunov, because that's probably the only guy he didn't get to squash, because Dragunov is fantastic. But
Yeah.
I think Braun just finally got that realization, like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not that much of a badass. Like you said, Zombie King, Sami Zayn has that showed Braun that, hey, you're a dog, but I have the dog in me, and let me prove that to you. So,
Yeah.
Sami Zayn retaining. I like what CDK. I like what you said too. Keeping these title reigns longer than expected, and the titles aren't flipping flopping. You know what I mean? And I like that because that gives somebody a good reign. And when you talk about that person, you could talk about how their Intercontinental Championship reign could possibly be one of the best of all time, right? So I do like that they're keeping, title reigns longer than expected. Let's move on to Raw. CDK, were you a fan of CM Punk when you started watching wrestling in 2006?
Yeah, I loved like when he was, of course, like going into the ECW phase, and because I mean that was like right at the intel and then like the ECW Part 2, whatever WWE wanted to call that.
Yeah.
I like that. Of course, I love like the Money in the Bank. He's the reason why Money in the Bank matters. Like Edge, yeah, of course, like being he was the first winner, right? Like and doing what he did to Cena, it showed us what Money in the Bank is supposed to be. But I feel like CM Punk exemplifies making new stars with this. Because I feel like with or without the Money in the Bank, Edge's career could have been fairly similar, right? But I think it really like brought CM Punk to being a star. So I love like where he is now. Still doing heelish things, but of course the crowd is just so over because he's back. So I just love like where it is right now.
You never turned your back once when he did the pipe bomb promo.
Hell, nah. I love that.
Did you see his return at AEW?
No, I didn't. So this is the thing. I didn't watch
not
AEW.
his return, but
yeah, like I liked his run as far as like when he was like just speaking on the truth of what it was, and that's what made his return to WWE that much greater. Is because it was so unexpected. It was nothing. There was no words. Like his return at Survivor Series when there was no commentary. There was just nothing. Seth Rollins going crazy in the ring. We don't know if that was a work or if that was a shoot. Like we just don't know any of that. And it just felt so real because there was no words to explain his return. It was just like, yo, this is that.
Yeah. I will say one of the craziest returns.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely
probably in history.
I'm not gonna hold you. I wish social media wasn't a thing because we was hearing rumors for weeks. So imagine no social media, and then you hear cult of personality hit.
Oh man,
I probably would have lost my mind, honestly.
That's the one thing.
I mean, man.
Being a fan, like if you're really a fan, you really want to enjoy it, and then you like get leaked, and you're like, come on, like I wish they, like all that dirt sheet and stuff. Like it helps sometimes, but like returns, keep it on the DL because it's like that pop that like. I would say another great one was, the Hardys at WrestleMania. That was another history pop right there. And that was pretty on the DL. Like, no one really knew they were about to pop up.
With that being said, your fantasy and Punk, he opened the show Monday Night Raw. Had his promo. Seth comes out, cuts his promo. Did Seth cook CM Punk in this promo? Was his words the right words to choose?
I wouldn't say necessarily cook. And this is the only thing that like with the whole Seth, I feel like there's two feuds going on at one time, and I know injury has a lot to do with the reason why like they kind of went off a little bit, but then went this direction. I understand it, but I wish that the feuds were like two completely separate feuds, right? Because I feel like he's competing with two people at one time. Because it's like, are we gonna finish the Seth thing? Are we gonna wait for that to be WrestleMania? Or are we just gonna make this him and Drew thing? Which I feel like low key right now. The him and Drew feud is more entertaining than him and Seth, even though we know him and Seth have real life beef. I just feel like when they kind of started,
100%. I agree with you.
I'm just like, I don't really know how I feel about it right now. Like, just completely stop it and bring that back at a whole other time.
I agree with that. Yeah, I like that.
Is it really a shoot beef? It's not a shoot beef, right?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but CM Punk did say he was overrated, and I don't think Seth kind of took that lightly, So.
Oh, you're talking about Seth. I thought you meant Drew.
Oh no, Drew, yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
like,
hot take. If I'm off the three, if I'm saying anyone's overrated, it's CM Punk.
That's crazy. He's best in the world. That's literally his.
I hate when people say that.
I mean, what do you want people to say?
Gets under my skin.
I'm top 10 in the world. Come see me.
I'd prefer that. I would applaud. I would stand and applaud him. Yes, sir. I would give you that.
You want wrestlers to be in the middle of the ring? I'm not the best in the world. I'm the 16th best wrestler in the world, and nobody can see me.
But what's all right? I know we're getting off topic, but what's CM Punk without him cutting a promo? That's what I'm gonna say.
He's a good
Still a great
He's a
wrestler.
good wrestler.
He's still a good wrestler.
He can work.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of people. John Cena, like it's a lot of people that can't really.
No, John. See, but John Cena's a sleeper. I think every John Cena match was pretty damn good,
Because
especially the ones with AJ Styles and Roman Reigns.
Yes, I will
Because
say
you
that.
had the 5 moves of doom, man. You can't beat those 5 moves.
That's it. That's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need.
You know what's crazy? I could probably run a John Cena match like right now if you ask me to. Like recreate John Cena's best highlights. I could probably do the shoulder tackles.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh no, we'll do that on another episode. Jay White and Chad Gable had a match, right? Wyatt Six comes out again, or not Wyatt Six, I guess Sister Abigail comes out.
They
after
don't
the
like
match.
Chad for some reason.
They're not. I don't know if it's Chad though, because I think
It's
Jay's
Chad.
part of this story as well, and he just doesn't know it yet.
I could see that.
I think that's where they're trying to chase that too, because they keep showing him a lot when
When he's around,
even when he's not around, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Jay ran away from the building. Jay gave back the Fireflies, you know what I mean? So I think Jay's part of this story a little bit. Do you like what you're seeing with the Wyatt Six right now, Zombie King? Because we haven't spoken in a while. Do you like what you see on TV? Do you like what Bo's doing?
I love what Bo's doing, and it's almost crazy how close he sounds to his brother. Like if you kind of close your eyes and you listen to the promos he's been cutting lately, you would think it's Bray. And it's like wow, huh?
He looks a lot like him. So I mean,
Yeah.
I get it that both have the same parents. And genetics is crazy, but if you do a quick look, you see Bray. It's the scariest thing, man.
And I don't want to compare him to Bray because he's his own character. He's coming out with his own thing. Yes, it's from Bray's idea, but he's taken it to his own. Like the promo he did when he face to face with Uncle Howie, that was
It's
chef
incredible.
kiss. It was perfect. But by the end of it, you knew like, oh, there's this. It's him talking to himself, split personality, whatever the case may be. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I
when
like
Adam
that.
Pearce opened that door and I saw him look over his shoulder, I'm like, yo, oh, they're leaning all the way in. That's the only thing about the Wyatt Six. Do I feel like they low-key dragged out the roll out of this? Yes, but I feel like they had to make a pivot, of course, obviously, because like he passed, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I can't be too mad at it. But I'm kind of like, okay, like what are we doing? Like, I'm just
Yeah.
at this point.
I love
I
what
do
I'm
agree with
seeing
that.
on screen. I just hope everything in the ring matches what we've been seeing so far.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want it to be corny, and that's what's gonna make it bad. Like Bray wasn't corny.
No.
Man,
He was
I'm not-
very. Bray was. He walked that very fine line of gimmicky versus serious. Like at first, let's take Goldust real quick. At first, when he came out as Goldust, he was very gimmicky and he wasn't taken as a serious competitor. And then eventually, he changed that and had some banger matches as Goldust. So to be
I like
gimmick
where it's
and
going.
yeah, to be a gimmick and have a serious match like Bray used to do, it's hard.
Yeah. With Chano, your guy, man, you've been tweeting it all week, dude. Your guy Damian Priest, man, just being the gentleman of all gentlemen. Is your guy really a true heel? Is he the bad guy he thinks he is?
No, bro, he's a face. You know what sold me on him a face? When he was talking that shit to Dom and he was like, I'm starting to see what your father meant. As soon as he said that, I was like, he's not even a heel no more. You're a face. You're sympathizing with the deadbeat. You know what I mean? Like as soon as he said that, I was been on the fence with Damian. So to me, heels don't give out title opportunities because they don't want to lose the title. Damian Priest wants no help. He wants to defend his title against everybody he feels like he needs to prove himself against, which is nonsense. Nonsense. Just let my man's
proving yourself is a very honorable thing.
And that's not a heel thing. I want villains.
Exactly.
I want a real life villain. When you give me a superhero that is Cody Rhodes, I need a villain that is just as white hot and doing villainy shit.
It's hard to be that villain though when you got Drew McIntyre just like saying, "Yeah, I'm the heel of all heels. I'm gonna go to this other show and I'm gonna kill this guy almost on national television, or I'm
Yeah.
gonna go on Twitter and call my general manager a bitch. You know, like there's you know what I mean? It's kind of hard. Like, damn, this guy's doing it all right now. What am I supposed to do?
But you can match them villainy. You know what I mean? You don't got to be calling nobody out their name. But first off, you knew Mami was coming back. We'll get to that in a second. But like, you didn't tell my man's Dom. You knew he had a mixed tag team match with Liv that night. You know what I mean? So like, what you thought he was gonna win the match? He was like, all right, F you, sis. I'm out. You know what I mean?
He probably thought he was teaching him a lesson. You know what I mean? Martin's in the chat with us. Martin says hello to all of us. He's a Four Sides of the Ring member. He just said he won the wrestling trivia with Wrestling in the Middle. So I guess he did something right tonight. You know what I mean?
There you go.
He said Bo Dallas' image to path, or his image is on path to being close to an original Firefly Funhouse. He says nobody was better in ring than Bray was. People just don't remember, or Bo. People just don't remember him because he was in a goofy B team, tag team. I liked the B team though. I thought it was really good for the 3 weeks that they were hot.
No,
but you brought it up. You brought it up, Chano. Let's talk about it. Dom finally gets the one thing he wanted his entire career: dub over his father, but not with Mami. He got it with Liv Morgan.
Mami couldn't get him a W against Ray Ray. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. CDK, we talked about it in one episode. I brought it up with my guys. If you were Dom, were you folding?
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, come on, man. The way Liv Morgan, and I'm not gonna lie, I love how WWE didn't just immediately go back to this edgy content. Like they're smoothly like just doing more and more things. It's kind of like, okay, like it's a little much, you know what I'm saying? So, and I love the way that they're doing just enough right now, especially with Liv and Dom in that area, to where it's not like overly sexual like how it was with you know what I'm saying, like
Edge and Lita.
Yeah, Edge and Lita.
Yeah,
it's just enough. So I feel like this is perfect right now. Like the angle that they've come with, and especially like improvising, of course, with Rhea Ripley being injured and stuff like that. I feel like this was perfect.
Did the phone call ruin the pop for Rhea, or did it kind of help the pop for Rhea?
It ruined it. I feel like she should have been like one of those, but she wasn't gone that long. So like I wasn't too mad. Like it wasn't like a massive return. So because she was only gone for like maybe 4 months, if that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't too mad about that.
Yeah.
It would have been a bigger pop. It would have been a bigger pop. No phone call. She just
no phone call.
Yeah.
No phone call. Just show up. But we call it though. Rhea came back with the same crazy pop. The fans loved it. Dom got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He's still an innocent man. He just got overran with emotion over beating his deadbeat father.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Bro, that was
He got excited. He
did get excited, bro. Like, if you was to ask Dom, like, would you rather win the world title or beat your father? I'm pretty sure he'd be like, I'm gonna beat my dad.
How long would we let this storyline go on though? Like the storyline, like between him and Ray, like God Almighty, like wrap it up.
Oh yeah.
No. I wanted to go off, brother.
It's probably gonna go on until he retires.
Probably.
I would like for Dom to retire Rey Mysterio. I think that'd be perfect.
That'll be something.
I think that'd be pretty.
That'd be the perfect way to end it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then 15 years later he comes back.
Yeah, in fact,
to have another.
Ray's gonna be doing the Ric Flair, man. Like, I just don't see Ray. What else are you doing? Like, I'm just really trying to. Your son's here. You ushered him in. Now
you're a Hall of Famer. You've done it all, man. You wrestled all over the world. Thank you. I don't know how many times we have to say it.
Yeah, thank you.
You know why? You're gonna keep saying it. He keeps having banger matches.
I don't know about banger. They kind of linger. They're not bangers.
Okay.
I will say this though. I feel like every time they're in a match, you're gonna wrestle something. Okay, cool. Dom's gonna go over. No, he's not. He's not beating me. That's not happening. What do you mean?
I believe it. It happened.
Let's talk what happened Sunday. We had Heatwave. Did you guys enjoy Heatwave, Zombie King?
I did not watch it, Heatwave. I just cast some clips. To be honest.
Fair enough. Hey, it's an NXT PLE. I don't blame you for not trying to catch it. Chana, did you get to catch Heatwave?
I did. I watched it to be disappointed, but the Nathan Frazier Axiom tag team match against Chase U was amazing. Oh my god, it was so good.
It was a good match. CDK, did you get the
chance to watch rewatching?
I didn't have a chance to.
You said was the referee on the tag team match?
Nah. I didn't get a chance to watch.
You didn't get a chance to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Zombie King. Definitely go back and watch that tag team match on that PLE. I think you'd enjoy that.
It's amazing. It's so good.
The main event was a little weird. I didn't like the ending. My dude Javon Evans was doing his thing though. I mean, I've said it on I was on Mouthing Off with Mike Sunday and Tuesday, and I'll say it again. Out of those 4 guys, Javon Evans was the best in-ring wrestler. So, and that's saying a lot for a 20-year-old man. The kid's killing it. He's having a fantastic career. I said they should have put the title on him because I thought it would just been awesome to have him as the youngest NXT champion and just let the young OG take it to his head and try to tell he's better than everybody. But man, dude, he cut a great promo on Tuesday night coming out to those guys saying, I beat you. He got jumped by Gallus, but he looks like he's doing some big things. I'm really excited for him. He's going to have a tremendous career in NXT, and when he finally wins some type of gold, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think he's perfect for NXT. Like, I feel like and they also don't overly push him, and I like that he didn't take the pin. I do like all of those things. So he's great in ring. He's amazing in ring. I like that they're letting him develop, but I feel like he's developed enough to where they can put him in the main event scene in NXT. Low key, I was like, I knew he wasn't gonna win the title. I just didn't feel like it. I feel like it's still too early for that.
I'm one of those guys, man. I like when you do the surprise call and you're just like, all right, we're gonna try it and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's ready. You know what I mean? Even if they would have done it, he still would have been ready for it. So who knows? Shout out to the North Carolina himself from Greensboro, 5-Star Pro Wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Javon doing your thing, man. Tuesday night, Ariana Grace had a match. She lost, sadly, to somebody who comes out with a weapon that you can't use. I don't know how many times WWE does this. You come out with a sword, a katana. Like, you can't. What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, if it's just part of the costume or the gimmick that you want to do, cool. But I don't feel like you need to come out with it. Ariana Grace is a star, man. I think we've all agreed on that. Her father was a star, Santino Marella. I mean, one of the best gimmicks you could probably say, hands down. I think it's the right time to push Ariana for something. Put her in a story. Let her go for some gold. Let her do something that's interesting because she has the gimmick. She can work. She could do a little bit of everything. So, what do you guys feel like is the right time to push Ariana Grace, Chano?
Whenever they're ready. You know what I mean? I feel like, I'm not going to hold you guys. I genuinely feel like Kalani Jordan is not ready for the North American Women's Championship at all. I feel about Kalani how Martin feels about Trick Williams, honestly.
Wow.
I don't think she's ready at all. Her match against Sol Ruka was saved by Sol Ruka. I know it sounds like a whole bunch of hate and rambling, but there was just a lot of things I saw that I wasn't a fan of. That I felt like could be cleaned up with a couple more regular matches and not put a belt on. Because I watched NXT on and off, and I could tell you on one hand how many Kalani Jordan matches were on NXT before that ladder match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she wasn't featured a lot. So for not her have the strap is super weird to me. Like I feel like there were better women in that match to win the gold instead of her. I think Sol Ruka has the best finisher in wrestling today. Her sunset flip off the top rope cutter is absolutely filthy.
Crazy.
I pop every time I see it. It's honestly insane. And the match wasn't a great match. It had great spots, but it wasn't a great match. You know what I mean? I feel like if Kalani was to polish up a little more, it would have been a great match, but it's just a whole bunch of like sloppiness.
I will say about the NXT women's division, I think any of those women can be pushed at this point. Like, if you look at, they're all solid workers. They're not just like, just divas. If you want to, give them a different title. Like, they're workers. They're hitting hard. They're running spots. Like, some of them, yes, they can be polished and stuff, but like, come to working wise and getting some quality matches and having believable, I will go with NXT over right now, probably Raw or SmackDown.
I would agree with you if Kalani Jordan was in the NXT North American Women's Championship.
This guy.
bro, she just
10 toes down on that one.
Hater alert. Hater alert.
10 toes
Hater
down.
alert.
It's not hate, man. It's not hate. I promise you. She just needed a little bit more seasoning, man. I understand it's NXT, and I'm willing to give her flowers and wait for it. But but as of right now, she doesn't deserve gold. It's crazy to me.
Fair enough. We'll move on. Tony D retained his Heritage Cup on Tuesday night in an interesting match. It was with Lexus King. I don't really understand what's going on with Lexus King. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? We talked about it week in, week out. He's just not somebody that I can get behind right now. So what I want to do is, this is weird because I'm surprised none of the AEW marks said anything. Maybe because AEW fans aren't as petty as the WWE fans can be sometimes. I'm surprised nobody called All Ego Ethan Page an ex AEW guy.
They did.
Did they? Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you missed it. I swear to God, you missed it, bro. I
didn't see not a single person say an ex AEW guy is now a WWE champion.
Bro, they were hounding it, bro. They put a picture of Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, Ethan Page, and like another wrestler from AEW when they won the titles.
It was Spears.
Nah, it wasn't Spears. It was somebody who won gold. That was from AEW.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to rank the ex AEW guys that are on NXT right now. We have Lexus King, Sean Spears, and All Ego. Who's the worst out of the three?
Lexus King.
Sean Spears.
CDK?
I'll say Lexus King, bro. Sean Spears is decent. Like I put him in 2 spot.
Like Sean Spears has I don't want to say stupid, but a weird gimmick. Like, bro, your hottest run was the perfect 10. I don't care what you're trying to do. You need to find that again.
I hear what you're saying. He's the chairman, you know what I mean? He did one thing to Cody Rhodes back in AEW and became the chairman, and he kind of stuck with it.
What did that even mean?
Hey.
You grab a chair. Every wrestler grabs a chair.
Yeah, but
I don't
but
get
he
it.
he actually uses his chair.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
Like it could work because like the Sandman is known for the kendo stick, but it's like how many times but at the time though, Sandman also was not. The kendo stick wasn't as overused as it is now then. So I think the chair is like the most classic wrestling weapon that you can possibly think of. So it's like I don't know that doesn't necessarily work.
It's not like Triple H who had the sledgehammer. He wasn't going out calling himself Sludgy or the Hammer.
We didn't know what he was calling himself backstage.
Hey, I don't know. What you call yourself is what you call yourself.
We had a party happen, I guess you could say. A trio reunited. The Rascals showed up on NXT to reunite with their guy Wesley because he felt sad. He said he was about to quit
again.
Again.
Wesley, he just needs therapy.
Yeah, they weren't about to let that happen. Were you surprised to see the Rascals come out, ZombiieKing?
No, but yeah, specifically one wrestler. But yeah,
I understand. Yeah, he took a picture that at the time, to him maybe it wasn't the greatest idea. Obviously, it wasn't, and he didn't mean nothing by it. He apologized, and I think it was amends were made, and I think it was really cool to see him reunite with his ex-tag team partner because MSK was probably the hottest tag team in NXT at the time. So it was really cool to see him get there and then bringing their guy along too. Debuted on NXT that night. So it was really cool to see the three of them together.
We'll say this. Hopefully this is because there are some other wrestlers out there that deserve a second chance. So hopefully this is a start of giving certain wrestlers a second chance.
Who are you talking about in particular, Ed?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers. I mean, he used to do the Purple Rain. I always forget his name. The Purple Rain gimmick. I always call him Purple Rain.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, you talking about Rich Swann?
No, not Rich Swann.
He
was in NXT. He was NXT.
Bro, he's talking about the one that was canceled that started doing interviews this year.
Oh no, yeah, but I know who you're talking about.
That's a whole different thing, but his character and the way he worked, it was good. I mean, I don't know what he's doing with his personal life. I really don't know the information.
You're talking about my dude Velveteen.
Yeah, there we go.
Velveteen. I mean, he beat all his cases. There was one case that he came out and said, "Yeah, that's on me," and he messed up or whatever the case might be. But
Even
I don't
Nunzio.
I don't think he's gonna take a chance.
I'm not Nunzio. Enzo, there we go.
Enzo's another guy. There's just a certain line, there's just like a certain thing.
There's
You know what I
certain
mean? I think
lines.
there's a fine line. You know what I mean? And when
Yeah.
you do something that's outrageous and kind of not called for, and you just can't come back from it. I think Zachary Wentz wasn't thinking at the time when he decided to dress like that and take that picture. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
at the time it was Halloween too. You know what I mean? Just a bad costume, bro. Like something should have told him like maybe I shouldn't wear this, but he still went with it. Bad decision. Those other guys we just named, man, you made unforgivable decisions. So it's
I feel like Enzo and Ryback are like two guys that you just cannot. Yeah, it's like you're done.
Enzo beat his cases. I think it was just hearsay. Honestly,
how'd you feel about
like
the
interview?
Yeah, the interviews. Yeah, how'd you feel about the Rascals reuniting CDK?
I wasn't. This is the only thing, man. Like Wesley, I'm not really too fond of him. You know what I mean? Like I think his gimmick is really stale, and I just don't see where we're going with this. You know what I'm saying? Like I need more development, especially that's just my whole thing.
I got you. What about you, Chano? Did you pop when the Rascals came out to reunite with their guy?
I was like, who? Honestly, I didn't pop. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm tired of Wesley being in the sad boy era talking about. I'm tired of that he's not gonna win for a while. And honestly, Wesley's been at NXT for so long. He needs to be chasing bigger and better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do with the Rascals? Create a trios title? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Like, bro, this is your second time quitting. Like, this is what you do. You lose, you quit. Like, that doesn't portray good. Like, if I'm trying to be a baby face or a top baby face, like every time I lose, I'm gonna quit and be like, sorry guys, I don't think I belong here.
Martin says Enzo ruined his chances when he crashed SummerSlam after getting fired, and he also said he's glad that he's not the only one who's tired of Wesley. Mouthing off with Mike's also in the building.
He's super talented. Yes, Mike, he's super talented. But you also know what he is? He's a crybaby. When I couldn't win my title, guess what? Oberfemi is a beast. There could be 10 of you, Wesley, and you would still get babied. You know what I mean? It's not in your cards. But there is all ego compatriots you can chase that world title against. You've been at NXT for a while. What is your development? You're obviously not in NXT for your in-ring work. You're really good in-ring. You clearly lack character development and character work.
Yeah, he don't have swagger, bro.
He does not have swagger.
Yeah. Honestly,
all
I said
all that drip for what? For nothing.
I said when the thing happened with Zachary Wentz and MSK, had to split up. I was like, Wesley's gonna get lost in the mix. They're gonna try to push something. I feel like his North American championship was like forced on us, and he made it work. He did okay with it. Yeah. They say he's the greatest North American champion. It's just like, come on, bro, look who's holding the title right now.
I think Wesley is a perfect example of wrestlers belong in different companies, because he will drive. He will have banger matches in AEW with a lot of guys.
That's interesting.
He just can't talk. He just wouldn't be able to talk. Just keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that has banger matches that can't talk in AEW.
I think AEW is really underrated with the wrestlers with the character work, because I think every single wrestler, 75% of wrestlers in AEW have amazing character work. That's better than the character work in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just don't see it. Mike said they're telling the story of West doubting himself after injury and not having the confidence. That's why the Rascals are there to help bring his confidence back. I'm not going to hold you. If you need two dudes to help boost your confidence, what's going to happen when he loses again? And they're not there because the TNA crossover is over. You know what I mean? Like, what's next for old boy?
Good point.
We'll see. Martin also said that the greatest North American champion was Adam Cole. I guess, if you want to say that. Let's move on. Let's move on to the main event. Trick Williams needs a tag team partner because Javon Evans got jumped. I honestly thought it would have been dope if Melo came out and said, "Yo, I got you." Like, don't like. No. I felt like the pop would have been awesome if Melo came out. No, but we got. If you say his name, he will appear. Mr. Joe Hendry shows up, catches
Yeah,
a
get that
dub. He catches a dub. He looked pretty decent in a WWE ring. Does Joe Hendry push the needle for you, CDK?
I wouldn't say necessarily push the needle. I feel like it's cool, but I feel like where Trick Williams is right now, like I feel like he's in. And another reason why I feel like look, he dropped the title. I might be premature about saying this, but I feel like he's due for a call up to the main roster. I might be tripping, but I just feel like that's what's next for him. Maybe not right now, but the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay. What about you, ZombiieKing? Does Joe Hendry push the needle for you?
I'm saying that I don't know if he pushed the needle, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm fairly new to Joey Hendrick. Like haven't really I heard of him and his theme music and stuff. Like I know his theme music before I knew him, if that makes sense.
I 100%.
Yeah. So seeing him now, like I think he's a wrestler that belongs in the E because of how entertaining he is. So like that's another perfect like he entertaining the way he does it, and I don't know if he has an interview with Chris Man. Like he really breaks it down. It's a good interview. Go watch it. He has a science to it, and wrestling is a science, and he's pretty good.
What about you, Chano? Does Joe Hendry push the needle for you?
I'm not gonna hold you. Social media's been kind of disappointed because they do all these deep dives of Joe Hendry and it's just Joe Hendry covers. But honestly, he's alright. You know what I mean? I feel like his gimmick will help him in the main roster. You know what I mean? Like with some mid-title gold, I don't see him being a world champion. But he's okay. He's pretty solid. He's not bad in the ring. You know what I mean? He's like LA Knight, just solid, no pizzazz. But he actually has a gimmick and a theme song that's absolutely fire. So as long as people was chanting "We Believe" and clapping, that's all that matters for Mr. Joe Hendry.
That's what Nothing Off of Mike says in the chat. Crazy to think that the song went viral on TikTok and now he has all this fame. So.
You know what's even more kind of than his theme song is his entrance video when he's just listening to the camera.
Yeah.
You know who he reminds me of so bad? You remember Simon Dean on SmackDown when he used to come down in his little scooter trying to sell like healthcare plans and like workout lessons?
Oh, was it the guy? He was like selling protein drinks.
Yes.
He had a little storyline with Batista.
Yeah, Simon Dean.
Yeah.
He used to come down in his scooter. That's what
he was entertaining.
He was. 1,000% he was.
He was entertaining. Let's talk some AEW a little bit. The Owen Hart tournament. We finally got our winners. Bryan Danielson, shouts out to the American Dragon. Chano Hayes always likes to say the only American Dragon he'll acknowledge is Jake Long.
Good
we
match.
will acknowledge Daniel Bryanson. It was a great match. He beats Hangman. Was this their best match in their series?
I didn't see the first ones, but this was a great match. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so.
It should have been
I think so.
I think this might have been their best match as well. Are you familiar with the Bryan Danielson Hangman Adam Page rivalry, CDK?
I'm not, but I need to tap in because like I'm a fan of all three. Well, I'm a fan of those two. Really, Bryan Danielson is so crazy. I still think Daniel Bryan in my head.
It's same. I do the same thing.
So I definitely need to catch back up on that.
Definitely. I think AEW is at an all-time high right now. 5 years in, they're doing great things. They have a lot of great matches. The stories need to get better. I think they're getting there. And they'll figure it out. It's only 5 years. They're still young. They have a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. Hangman lost the match. He got upset, went straight to his boys, the EVPs, the Young Bucks. And Okada and him meet face-to-face for the first time in 2 years. If you don't know their history, New Japan Pro Wrestling, those guys go back. They are good friends. But Hangman tells the EVPs that he's going to join their team for Blood and Guts so he can get his hands on Swerve one more time.
He's going to call Swerve at all. He's going to call Swerve at all. It's going to be insane.
I think they jumped Swerve enough where Bryan Danielson will finally beat him at All In Wembley. And then
I think that's
back
true. Yeah, I think that's also what's going to happen. Honestly, because AEW needs Bryan Danielson more to win the title more than it's so hard.
It is.
is the Bryan Danielson. The Bryan Danielson actually needs a title. Bryan Danielson is a Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats, whether he wins that title or not. But for AEW to keep their prestigious names on that list, they need Bryan Danielson. You know what I mean? They need that certified Hall of Famer on it.
I low-key feel like he's one of the only WWE guys that went over there that still has his aura and is raised even more. Like I feel like Chris Jericho's fallen off, and Adam Copeland. Oh my God! Like it's just
you think Chris Jericho is falling off? Let me correct you. He's been fell off. That man is ass.
The list? Come on, man.
No.
He's talking about his AEW run.
The AEW run.
His AEW run. Yeah. But before we get into Chris Jericho, Will Ospreay actually kicked off the show. He got a personal promo. He even apologized for it because it was too personal. He was really in his feelings the way he was talking to MJF, bro. You know, it was just, I mean, really, really out of pocket when he said Tony Khan pays guys like me to, you know, to elevate AEW instead of, you know, not. So it was weird. Did you like this promo from Will Ospreay, Zombie King?
Like I said, it was a weird promo. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan where wrestlers try to bring reality into wrestling. So it works for certain people, obviously CM Punk, but sometimes it doesn't work. And I think that was a point where it didn't work. It just came off kind of weird.
I feel that. This might sound weird. Chris Jericho beats Samoa Joe. This is AEW. We're not on WWE, but it was a weird thing. Chris Jericho obviously proved to the entire world he does not know how to drive a forklift. So Tony Khan, OSHA probably will be calling you. Just be prepared for that.
That's a fine.
The dude looked at the security guard and said, like, how does it go forward? Like, what do I do? And they just came and pushed a level up for him. But everybody was saying that the reason why this happened and Samoa Joe technically got murdered by a forklift was because he's got the next season of Twisted Metal to record. And it's in Canada. They were in Canada when that happened. So it looks like Joe's going to be off TV for a little bit so he could go do some Hollywood stuff. How'd you guys feel about it? The way they wrote him off?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Samoa Joe a couple months ago was headlining pay-per-views. He was the AEW World Champion. You know what I mean? Like, he beat MJF, the longest reigning AEW World Champion of all time, to lose to poopy-ass Chris Jericho. Bro, it's so bad, man. Like, everything about Chris Jericho screams retire. And, like, he had an interview the other day. He was like, I don't know when to retire. Like, no, you don't. Bro, hang it up. I don't want to see you on TV. It's so bad. Bro, I'm not going to hold you. The moment I saw the forklift and I saw the forks lifted, I was like, huh. I'm like, that doesn't look right. I'm like, anybody who knows how to drive a forklift knows that the forks are never lift. They should never stay elevated. It ruins the tension. And then they started wrestling there, and I'm like, huh. And then I started putting on it, and I was like, okay, I guess. But then when Chris Jericho left, they still didn't lower the forks.
That's what I'm saying. They broke a whole bunch of violations. Like, OSHA is definitely going to give Tony Khan a call and say, what the hell was going on over there? I need to see some certification from Y2J himself. Let me see that certified forklift driver's license.
Listen, I would vote.
CDK.
I'll tell you what. Let me get this last put up. I will revoke my 45 and over clause if Chris Jericho retires.
That's a bit, you have no clue. If you're a fan, you know.
Yeah, CDK,
he has his cutoff.
Chano's an ageist as he will, and he believes that 45 is the cutoff. And if you're a 45-year-old wrestler still doing it, you just need to hang it.
If you're from Japan, it's 35.
I don't disagree with the 45 and over rule. Now that I'm thinking about it, but people like Batista started late, so it's like I wasn't, and he was pretty decent for. But did he wrestle? Well, yeah, he did wrestle. I think he was 45. I want to, yeah. But I didn't even get a chance to watch Chris Jericho and Samoa Joe. But just thinking about it out loud, I already just voiced my opinion about how I feel about Chris Jericho. No, it's just a no.
Yeah,
I feel that. The Bastard Pac got a dub. He cut a decent promo too. He's either gonna get Will Ospreay or MJF at All In. Zombie King, who would you like to see him in the ring with?
Pac? Anyone. But if I had to pick the two, Will Ospreay.
Okay, Chano.
I'll take Will.
Okay. I like Pac and Ospreay. I think Pac and MJF would cook too. CDK, Are you familiar? Are you familiar with Pac?
Yeah, Neville. Well, yeah, Pac.
Yeah, Neville. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Are you familiar with Will Ospreay
Yeah, I'm
or
familiar with
his
him as
work?
well. And I like for in-ring action. Yes, I feel like Will should be definitely like the selected choice. And I'm actually glad that Pac has like what his career has been reinvented to. Like he was, we knew that he was a in-ring specimen. So like we knew that that's what he could do and bring to the table. So I think that this matchup will be great with them two.
Yeah, I think it happens. I think MJF is going to take a L next Wednesday night against Will Ospreay, which is going to be a crazy match.
I don't think we get a match.
You don't think
I
we
think
get a
this
match?
is. I think this is that's a teaser. I think something happens where maybe MJF kind of. If MJF is a real heel, he'll start the match, do the little circle around, and then walks out.
Nah, I think they wrestle because they were. Meltzer was
Too
saying
soon.
that. Nah, it's not that it's too soon. Basically, this is the 250 of AEW, right? 250 episodes, so it's a pretty big deal for them. So that being said, and they're also in the middle of TV negotiations. So the right now, like, and the higher the rating is, the more sweetener the pot for them. That's why they've been stacking these Dynamite cards. That's why we have MJF versus Will Ospreay. We have Swerve versus Okada, which is going to be amazing, man. The Dynamite is going to be must see TV next week. That's going to be an amazing match. That's going to steal the week, honestly.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
So
next week's gonna
okay.
be Wild Wednesday. Definitely, anybody who's a AEW fan, wrestling fan, definitely tune in to AEW. It's gonna be great.
That's going to be amazing.
What was really great this past Wednesday night, though, last night, of course, was this Mariah May turn. Man, she beats Willow Nightingale, wins the Owen Hart tournament, and then turns on Toni Storm. Miss Storm bleeding out. I mean, it was a crazy image. It's probably one of the greatest endings so far of AEW in the last 5 years that they've had been on TV. And you know, some people kind of hated on the turn. They wanted it to last a little longer. Some people were saying it's the right time. I'm one of those guys that think that this turn was perfect. Now you have 6 weeks to build the story and tell us why Mariah decided to do it now and not wait. So, I mean, ZombiieKing, how'd you feel about that? How'd you feel about this turn? Do you think it was the perfect time, the perfect call?
I like it. I think it's gonna be perfect. The only thing I wish they did it in black and white.
Okay.
The whole thing. I feel like it would just add a little more to the. It's a little more.
Honestly,
like a little more.
I didn't even think about that, but I feel like the reason why they didn't do it in black and white is because the color felt more dramatic. Because we actually got to see the blood.
Yeah, I do, but it's not like we haven't seen blood. Just watch the John Moxley bleeds to the ring at this point. I mean, you'll see blood eventually. Just put him on the card. There's blood, but like I don't know. I think the black and white would have been like. I think black and white would have been more dramatic.
What about you, Chano? Did you feel like the turn was a good call? Was it the right time?
I feel like it was too soon. Like you said, this 6 weeks. I feel like the story was there. Regardless, I didn't necessarily feel like it needed to be Mariah who turned. I felt like, because if you look at it, all of Mariah May's victories in this tournament have been like quick pinfalls. You know what I mean? Quick pins, like roll ups and things like that. So
I feel that.
I feel like it wasn't needed. You know what I mean? Because it kind of feels like she got this title opportunity out of like luck with the quick pins. Because not like she did it once, she did it every single round, and I feel like we can all agree that Mariah May is going to dethrone Toni Storm.
Yes.
But the question is, for how long? You know what I mean? Because they did it with Mariah, they dropped the bat, she dropped it, then Toni Storm ended up getting it again. Is there anybody on AEW ready to carry that division? Because Tony's been doing it for the last like year and a half, 2 years.
There is, and I think that's what they're waiting all in for the comeback of Jamie Hayter. And when Jamie comes back, you know, technically it was her division. She had to make with her title because she got injured. So, you know, she's been gone for a minute now, but she's been training. She got cleared to train. You know, they said she's healthy. So maybe we get a return at All In her hometown because they're going to be in Wembley. They're going to be out there. So, yeah, I think if Jamie Hayter was to come back, then, yeah, you have that woman already set in stone. Yeah, we got somebody who's ready to carry the division for us.
I hope so, man, because I feel like the TBS division has been better than the main title, women's title, for a while. Even before Mercedes came to AEW, the TBS title was always further on the pay-per-view card than the AEW women's title. You know what I mean? Like the AEW women's title felt like it lost its luster a little bit. Like the AEW women's title was the title for returns and debuts. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And meanwhile, the TBS title was building their stories from within, and that feels so much more important. And it's crazy because it's literally a network title. It's a TV title, but it feels so much better. And I'm not saying that because Mercedes is holding it now. By the way, Mercedes did an amazing job with Stephanie at Forbidden Door, and she's a phenomenal wrestler in person. She deserves every single bit of the praise that she gets. But that title just feels more important than the women's world title. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Okay, well, hey, that's a little hot take, but we'll see. Martin says Tony is not losing till Jamie Hayter is healthy. Mouthing off of Mike says Jamie Hayter returned at Wembley as well. He also said that the Mariah Tony segment was one of the best endings in AEW's history. So I think the turn was good. I don't know if you guys saw, but TNA just made an announcement today. As everybody knows, WrestleCade is in Winston-Salem in the Convention Center downtown. WrestleCade also announced that they are partnering up with TNA, and they're going to host their pay-per-view Turning Point Friday night. So if you bought your tickets, looks like you get to go to your first TNA pay-per-view. I will say WrestleCade is tough. Yeah, WrestleCade is a great time. It's really fun. I was there last year, me and my brother, and we met a lot of people and networked with some really good people. So if you have not been to WrestleCade, it's something that you want to do, especially if you're a wrestling fan. But hey, everybody, that's our show, man. We appreciate everybody coming out and being in the chat. CDK, we appreciate you coming out, man, and doing this with us, coming to talk wrestling. With that being said, man, tell our people where they could find you, listen to you, and all the good stuff.
All right, on a daily basis, you can listen to me on 102 Jam, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sometimes in the mornings, depending on how that goes, when I'm in town and stuff like that. I'll be up there tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right there on 102 Jams. I have my own podcast, CDK and Horatio, and DTLR on the weekends, 4 to 8 p.m., 250 stores nationwide, and CDK on the mic on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
ZombiieKing, any matches this weekend?
Yeah, you guys are in the East Rutherford area by the Giant Stadium, American Dream Mall. I'm having a show in the skating ring. So if you're in the East Rutherford area, American Dream Mall, I got a three-man tagging up with my dad, Frankie Flo, the Patriot. So it's gonna be a banger.
Chano, how can everybody find you?
Can't find me. Damn it. Nah, if I get my car this weekend, I'll definitely come down and see you wrestling again, Brody.
Yeah.
You can find me at CHASTKO_. No, you guys gotta have my Instagram. My son is way too cute, and I stand on that. I really do. And hope to see you guys next week.
Hey, that's facts. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. 4 Sides of the Ring podcast on IG, 4 Sides OTR on X, but most of all, follow us on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share us to all your wrestling friends. Once again, thank you, CDK, for joining us. Hopefully we can do this again.
Yep.
All our ringsiders, have a great weekend. And remember, if you are not enjoying wrestling, you're just not watching it right. We'll see you guys next week.